Harvey, big news. You're investing a little bit more in the holding company, therefore in the football club. Clearly, you're enjoying your involvement with Lincoln City.
Absolutely love our involvement with Lincoln City. We have been incredibly embraced by the club, by the supporters, by the city of Lincoln. Missy, Jackson, Jensen, and I just have developed such a passion for the club and for the entire community. And all along when we started this process, Michael, we knew we would be investing in stages, get to know the club over time, understand English football, understand the EFL, and understand the inner workings of the club itself. And I will tell you that we've probably accelerated our contributions on a pace faster than what we had originally intended. That's a good thing. We have, it goes without saying, my engagement with Clive and the entire board has just been spectacular. Clive inspires me each and every day. And when I watch his commitment to the club, it inspires me to become more committed, both in terms of financial resources and contributing in any way that I can in terms of decision-making issues regarding the club. And so we felt like this was the appropriate time to add to that investment because of how impressed we have been.
And it's very much, I know your name's on the tin in this sense, but it's very much a family investment with your wife, Missy, and your son, Jackson. You're all very much signed up for this.
No question about it. We are all in, as they say. Missy, Jackson, Jensen they live and breathe Lincoln City football. We're all watching on our own. I follow accounts, whether we may all be together and we're watching one, or usually four of us are separate, certainly on the Tuesday games. And we have four accounts. We're watching them all. We love listening to your commentary. There's nothing like waking up to Michael doing the game at 7 or 8 a.m. On Saturday mornings. We get a little reprieve this time of year because Arizona doesn't recognize daylight savings time. So we're 7 hours different this time. So we get to start at 8, but we are totally engaged. And, we felt like at this point in time with this particular investment, Michael, we're not much for a lot of exposure and a lot of public notoriety, but we've watched at this point in time, it's a difficult environment in the world from an economic point of view. And we know that people are dealing with higher costs of living, and they worry about themselves, they worry about their families, they worry about their loved ones, they worry about their job. We just wanted to take a moment in this particular investment and say, thank you to our supporters. We know that, the club is important to each and every one of our supporters. And with all there is to worry about in the world, we just simply wanted to say, you don't need to worry about your club. What I've observed in a year and a half with Clive and the board and Liam and the management team, it is absolutely incredible what good hands this club is in. And it is what has accelerated our involvement here. No question about it.
To some extent, just sort of touching on what you said there, is that investment part of that, in the sense of you and other directors taking a bit of that load because the financial pressures, we all know about the inflation that's going on, certainly here in the UK, running at about 10, 11%. Yes, you can raise money from selling tickets and people buying pies and sausages and all those things, but it's also a case of directors taking a bit of that financial burden as well.
Well, I think we all play our part in this, and this is a moment in time where it made sense for us to add to our investment commitment. but we all have a role. I am so impressed by our supporters' connection to the club, attendance, home and away. We've heard Mark Kennedy speak many times to you in post-game interviews that he is just taken aback by the level of support, both at LNER and on the road. And, to hear him talk about the experience, I believe it was the Plymouth game, where he said, look, I've been in this game a long time, and I've been in a lot of stadiums where there's 30, 40, 50,000 supporters there, but this was special, and what is happening at Lincoln is special. And so, yes, part of this is, look, we were going to naturally increase our investments over time. And this just seemed like a right moment to take that next step. And with it, look, I think with our financial enhancement, I said at the outset that I would want to take some time before increasing my personal involvement. I want to be able to contribute time. I have professional responsibilities in life that I have to tend to each day. But along with the increased financial investment, we're increasing our engagement. And, I've said, look, there's a point in which we're entitled to a board position. We've reached that point. And, I fully believe in calendar year 2023, I'll assume a board position. And, but up to now, Clive and the board have treated me like a board member. I have participated in many meetings. They've welcomed me to all board, all exco, as many committee meetings that I want to attend, and I've attended many of them. I get engaged in the discussion. I'm not a voting member on any of those positions, but I have appreciated being able to have a front row seat into those deliberations. And, it's time for us to, be represented on the board, because not because we're worried about it. I'll tell you, we're 5,000 miles away, and we are spiritually involved every minute of every day in Lincoln City. We want to be engaged. It's not because I go to bed every night, and one thing I don't have to worry about is Lincoln City and our investment, and sort of the prudent stewardship of the club by Liam and his management team, by Clive and the board. So this isn't assuming a position on the board because I'm worried. I'm assuming a position on the board, next year, because it's what I want to do, and I want to become more engaged in what's happening with the club.
Can I just ask you, when you first got involved with the club back in nearly just over a year ago, wasn't it, July 21? I'm not asking you to comment on other owners at other football clubs, but there is a narrative I don't feel aware of in this country of, because of things that happened at Manchester United, for example, of some negativity towards American investment in football clubs. Had that been a concern for you coming into Lincoln City? And clearly, from what you've said, that hasn't proved to be a problem. You've been well received at Lincoln.
I've had absolutely no issues with being an American owner. The club and its supporters have, I guess all we said originally was, I can say a lot of words, but I would just ask you to watch my actions, and that's all I can do, and that takes time. We have complete respect for the English game, for the pyramid system, for promotion, relegation. We've watched what's happening in the game. There is a tremendous amount of US money coming into the English game. There's a tremendous amount of Middle Eastern money coming into the game, and everybody has to approach it in their own way. Our way of approaching, at least I hope is the case, is to let the let the tradition and the way the game is played and managed continue on, because that is what attracted us. It didn't attract us to come in and change anything. If we can enhance things in certain ways, if we can provide, there are certain strategies, business strategies in US sports that are not applied to quite as much of an extent in the English game, whether that be branding or other type of commercialization. Look, if there are certain ideas that we can bring that fit with the tradition of the English game, we're happy to share those and make them happen. We are not here to force an American way of managing sports on Lincoln City. And I hope our actions have portrayed that. I say, why would you fix something that's not broke? And, originally we looked at a lot of clubs, and we did say, we are not looking for a distressed club. We are not looking for a desperate club who needs to be saved. That is what attracted us to Lincoln. The talent. I just want our supporters to understand how unique and uncommon it is for a club, a League One club, especially EFL club, to have the amount of talent that is involved as what exists at Lincoln City. When you have Clive and Jay Wright and David Lowe's and board members across the board that are just committing so much time and effort and resources to this club. And then you look at the management side and you see Liam Scully, who is to me just a star, and his management team that he has in place. And then you get to the football side and you see all the good that's happening on the football side. That is what attracted us to Lincoln City. So, I don't see a lot of things that need to be fixed. Now, we have our challenges. We have, we do not have endless financial resources. And so we have to outwork and outsmart our competitors on a daily basis for us to succeed. And I truly believe, I said at the time, Michael, that our investment probably came into a club that had progressed further and faster than what we were looking for. I mean, when you think about where Lincoln City was just a few short years ago compared to where it is today, and in our first year, playing in the playoff final, the club has had incredible success. And so, if we were looking for a club that we can find a way to move three tiers quickly, Lincoln City wasn't that club. It had come a long ways. But having said that, I truly believe we've not reached our ceiling. And that is what this commitment and our continued commitments down the road represent. It's our belief that we can take that next step. Our belief that, championship is within our realm. We were knocking on the door of championship. Here we are, 9th in the table. And I'm not sure we've played our best football yet. We're doing some pretty special things out there. But it takes time. It takes time with Mark coming in, and you always have new players. You have players on loan, and to watch this transition happen in front of us, in front of our eyes, pretty special what we're seeing right now.
Investment is always important. Clearly you have as well, but as a businessman working in America, are you helping the club, and obviously future director, as you've said as well, are you working with people at the club to look at bringing in other potential investors? Because let's be honest about it. It's all you talk about wanting to be in the Championship. Of course, it requires good management within the club and being clever, but it also requires investment, not just from you, but from as many people as possible, isn't it?
No question about it. And, we get inbound inquiries for potential investors, and Clive and the board evaluates and vets each one of those inbound. We love to have conversations with people interested in investing in Lincoln City. And I believe our prospects are good in that regard. And of course, we're going to look for people who are interested in helping take Lincoln City to the next level. There has to be compatibility. There's a culture at Lincoln City that attracted us in terms of the way the club is managed. It is a very collaborative nature and culture of the club, of people working together. There isn't one owner, one chairman sort of dictating everything that's happening in the club. That's what I love about it. There's just an incredible collaboration amongst everyone involved. And so as we bring in potential new investors, the resources, the financial resources are important. There has to be compatibility. And I think we'll be good judge of those who are interested, and if that is a culture fit.
Just finally then, give us a flavour. You sort of touched on it a little bit earlier on. Everyone has a routine to their day. Clearly, when you're in Lincoln, it's going to the match. But I'm sure there are fans who listen across the country, or indeed watching in Australia or New Zealand or elsewhere in the world. What's your match routine? I'm trying to think. If Lincoln are kicking off at 3 on a Saturday, you're probably having breakfast, I would imagine, and keeping up to the game.
Yep, we wake up when there's 7 a.m. games. We're ready to go. We have the laptop all ready, the computer ready, and we're just locked in. It's interesting to me though, Michael. I have find that when I'm at the game, at the match in Lincoln or at an away, I'm a little calmer when I'm in the venue. And it's no different with Lincoln City or with the Padres. When I'm in the venue, I have a relaxed feeling. I feel like I can see everything that's going on, and I can watch people's faces. I can see how the fans are reacting. I can feel that energy. Thankfully, we have an outstanding play-by-play commentating on I Follow, and your analysts who are right there. You guys do an incredible job of describing the game. It's harder 5,000 miles away. You just want to feel the environment. We talk about in baseball, there are the sounds and smells of baseball that when you walk into a park, you just know you're in a baseball park. And I feel the same way at LNER. You just know the environment, and you just love being there. But look, we love watching on iFollow. It is so helpful. I love the coverage. And so it's an hour and 50 minutes of being on edge. I'm a competitor. I want to win every match, and so it's, I've said it previously, when we win when the game started at 8 and it's 9:50 and we win, the rest of that weekend is just spectacular. When we lose, it's hard. It's hard to go on the rest of the weekend. When we lose and we don't have a Tuesday game, then I'm really miserable waiting for the next Saturday. But I just love to have the coverage. My family and I and Landon and others, we're all texting, we're WhatsApping. The Lincoln City folks, have Clive and the crew have allowed me to jump into all their WhatsApp chats. So there's a lot of activity going on while we watch the match, and that helps to tone down the nervousness.